Just fucking do it. Subscribe now.
I attended thank you. I attended an event, the Scottish National Jerk Off of the Year Award in Glasgow the last few days, and 450 people, not dissimilar to your own backgrounds, countless would be a Trump exaggeration, but many said that they read everything there ever was about me, they listened to everything they ever heard about me, and which is all a hand job. And then they proceeded to ask me questions that were so fucking parochial, infantile in nature. I wish I hadn't gone. Now this is setting you up because you're going to start asking questions tomorrow, if not tonight. Most of which are going to be parochial, infantile, whatever the other word I used. Because that's how you live most of your life. Half-assed. And I've told so far the 5 or 6 people I've talked to today, if you're only going to try this, you're going to fail. Now, we don't give you your money back, but if there was ever a reason to give the money back, that's it. Because I didn't set this up 33 years ago just to steal your money, like most of the other guys that you've gone to. They knew you weren't going to succeed, and yet then they promoted you into the silver, amber, golden, plateau, you know all those things they have, and took more money from you knowing you're going to fail. Because this deal is not a scheme to me. Now I say every seminar ad nauseum, those who get laser beam focused first, stay laser beam focused longest, win the most. And I've told a few of you that were in my office so far, and I know it's an unusual looking office, so after you get over being stunned by it, the desk that I'm not sitting behind it now, but the desk there for 9 years, 11 months, and 3 weeks, I lived, breathed, ate QLA to the exclusion of my God, my wife, my kids, my parents, everybody. And then I woke up the Monday of the 4th week of the 12th month and said, like Roberto Duran, who gave me those gloves over there, no mas. I couldn't take it anymore. And I quit. But I spent almost 10 years. Yet today, as I sit here, 80 years old, a good portion of my net worth is based on those 10 years. Not what I've done in the subsequent 20 years. And when we go through the characteristics of, some of these guys and a few gals, and everybody else, is that they stay focused a long time. And some are focused to this day. To this day. And there's no other way around it. As I was asked many years ago, by a Dutchman, which are most of my Hall of Shame, by the way. We'll get to that later. Is there a part-time way to do this? I still remember what he looked like. He looked like Adonis, like in the Marvel things. 6'6", maybe taller, 240 pounds of chiseled muscle. By the way, we don't have any six-packs up there, for those of you that fancy yourself in shape. You can forget that shit. You don't have time to keep a six-pack. And I told him, no, there are no part-time high-performance people that I've ever met in my life. The QLA seminar is not just a seminar. It is a blueprint for creating generational wealth as fast as humanly possible. I teach you how to turn nothing into millions, billions, and even trillions. If you want to take control of your life, to create a legacy that lasts for generations, the time is now. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is this moment. Be bold, be selfish, be ruthless, and take no prisoners. I will still do seminars, but I won't be able to do this forever. Act now or not at your own peril. Thank you very much. Tonight we're going to see and hear in person TK Stratton, who's more or less famous for doing $348 million in 11 months. By the way, that's not the record. And he's here tonight. And he'll be here tomorrow for a while. Until he can't take it anymore. I'm looking at you. And listening to your feeble questions. Now, I was asked, I got an award in Los Angeles a few weeks ago. And I was busting the balls and screaming and yelling like I always do. And some fat tub of shit, I hope you're watching Fat Tub of Shit, asked me in the back, how do you think you're motivating us by demotivating us? The fact that you even said that says you're a fucking loser. As Andrew Carnegie said, if I have to motivate you, you're not worth having. So those of you that came here for motivation, you wasted your money. We're going to take you from A to B, and smiling and giggling is a coping mechanism for lack of self-esteem and being a loser. Teeth. We're going to take you from the very beginning, step 1, through step 7 and exit. And the first 4 steps are related to exclusively getting your head screwed on straight, which most of you don't have it on straight. But most of the people that come here don't have it on straight. So that's, that doesn't really differentiate you from anybody else. And through the steps, then the chairman, the CEO, the CFO, the industry experts, in-house lawyer, an in-house accountant in addition to your CFO, and then your big-time law firm, your big-time accounting firm, interviewing banks, finding and closing a, I almost said unsuspecting, that might have been a Freudian slip, unsuspecting motivated seller, and then repeat. There are no shortcuts to the steps. And we'll talk more about it tomorrow morning, but we have an individual here that is back for this 3rd time this year. Is it all 1 year, Matt? 2 years, excuse me. And we have the younger brother. Jesus Christ, I didn't even recognize you. Of one of my partners. By the way, Matt is a partner of mine too. How many years younger are you than Trey? 5, okay. As immature as he acts, you could be twins. Yeah, I know, I noticed. Which, well, you can ask him if you want, but so he can be part of the train group, and that company, or companies, I should say, are plural, are going through a reorg right now, and we've gotten rid of some people, and we brought some new people in, etc. But all the rest of you are cherubs who just fell off the turnip truck, varying in age. But TK is going to talk to us tonight, and he's embarrassed that he only did 348 million. When you're struggling to do one deal, just think about that. You can just think about that. Questions? Oh, those who take the most notes, we have data to support, and ask the least amount of questions, succeed the most. We have tons of data. But how many in the room, English is not your primary language? So you may or may not be going back and practicing this in a non-English country. Okay? Copious notes, and we tell you how to do this. You go home and you rewrite them, and blah, blah, blah. And you put them in some semblance of order, because the gigs that you're going to get at the end of the week, a thumb drive has about 30 plus gigs, are not in chronological order. 1 has nothing to do with 2, has nothing to do with 10, has nothing to do with, they're just all helter-skelter. And they're helter-skelter because I want you to go back and have to put them in order. It's your first semblance of time management that you don't use now. And a few things about time management, while they're on the top of my head, almost none of the big hitters use cell phones. I'm going to say it again slow, for those of you that English isn't your primary language. Almost none of the big hitters use cell phones. A lot of the big hitters, their meetings are reduced to between less than 10 minutes, 5 and 6 is the fave, from guys like Gates and Elon, 5 and 6 minutes. So the meeting begins and ends in 5 minutes. I struggle with that myself because it takes me that long to say hello. But, and so we're going to give you these benchmarks for the rich and famous, more or less, that have succeeded, not in their program, Elon's or Bill's program, but this program. And you'll figure out your own. You're going to get a weekly report, part of the thumb drive, that should not be taken weekly. It should be taken daily, because not many of you in this room will be able to cope with keeping details at the ready 5-6 days after the fact, if you try to write it down then. So I suggest strongly that you do it daily. And it has about 73 questions. Yes or no? Yes. Did you cheat on your wife? Yes or no? When? Isn't part of the question. It's yes or no. And I asked a few of you that I've already talked to, and you had a but. If you got to put but with the answer's no good. I don't care if your mother's dying of dementia. And either with a bank when you blow a tight covenant on your loan, to the extent that you use commercial banking. Yes or no? And so after the first 2 or 3 days, when you see 50 or 60 that are not in the yes column, that's the first red flag that you fucked up coming here. But instead of putting no, you put I cunted out, which is the same as no in this jargon. Now, you're all going to give yourself, and I already got the answers from 2, 3 of you, how it takes you a while to get used to new things. Oh, fuck. And the one that told me that, you know who you are. And I just kind of giggled. That means you weren't prepared for this. But nobody's really prepared for this, because I'm going to rip your skin off. I'm going to rip your skin off, down to your bone marrow. And why? And somebody asked me why I haven't changed the tapes. And I said, it's because nothing changed in the QLA model but 2 things. Bitfuck and crowdfunding are the only 2 new tools since I started this in the 70s. That's it. Everything's the same. No changes. I do not see your weekly reports that you should do daily. That's for you, privately. There is no after. I get phone calls, not every day, but almost every day. I don't get a phone call ever, but I mean somebody in the organization gets a phone call. And the guy was from 2016 or 18. And I asked my staff, if I get to this step, show me his file and show me his picture. Because as soon as I see your ugly puss, I have not 100% photographic memory, but almost. I'll recall real quickly. Like I remember you from the Beverly Wilshire Hotel telling me that thief you were working with was not a thief. And he wanted to know, and he sends an email this long. I tell you when you leave, don't ever send me an email because I'm not going to answer it. He must have forgot that since 2016. He was a psychopathic, mongoloid idiot when he was here, and he hasn't changed. And he goes through all this litany of shit he did that is exactly the antithesis of the program. And now the guy is taking the company away from him, which if you do right is impossible. Obviously, you didn't do it right, did you? And then he wants me to, like the Flash in the TV series, solve all his problems. Which one of you are going to follow that format? Because one of you is, absolutely. Duncan, are you feeling better? Good, good. He's like the old fire hydrant the dog pisses on every day. You know, we can't do without him. Any questions? Hit it, Duncan. They already look gun shy. Oh, and you line up over there and they tell you where to sit. And don't sit down until I tell you be seated.